Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I want to touch on something that we've talked about before. You hear about it all the time, and something that I see happening a lot more than I've ever seen in my life, and that's the shaming of women who haven't had children by a number of men, even sometimes women. This is Shantel Jackson. We know her as Miss Jackson. Okay, she was a video vixen, a model. She has a very successful company called Shoe Gummies, and she is the ex of Nelly. Okay, she was dating Nelly before, he got back with Ashanti and they got married, but she dated Nelly. And before she dated Nelly, she was also dating Floyd Mayweather. I think he was the one who called her Miss Jackson. We know that it was a terrible relationship. She said that he abused her physically and verbally. Okay, abuse going on. But I'm showing that to show that basically Shantel has dated high profile men. She's a very attractive woman. All right. She's kept herself up. She's beautiful. She's in shape. Okay. And she doesn't have issues getting a man. A lot of women don't have issues getting a man. It's about quality. Just because I can attract men does not mean that I am attracting quality men all the time. Someone who I want to make the father of my children. So basically, this person left this message to her, and she's responding to it. She responded in a very classy way to me. She says, okay, he said to her, "At your day and age, how does it feel not to have kids? Question mark. Because your life looks lonely. That handbag isn't going to sit and talk with you or even visit you when you were sick." I cannot stand the shaming tactics that people try to use against women who do not have children. So first of all, the first thing I want to say, you are a very disrespectful person to comment towards a woman who doesn't have kids, because number one, how do you know she doesn't have fertility issues? A lot of women have issues with fertility problems, with ovaries, the uterus, and it's nobody's damn business, first of all. So how do you know she doesn't have issues in that department? You really think that Floyd Mayweather or Nelly might not have given her a baby if she wanted a baby by them? They already have kids, even by different women. Why is it so hard for people not to understand that there are women who don't always want children? There are a lot of women who don't want children. It doesn't matter how beautiful she thinks she is. Not every woman wants to be a mother for various different reasons. There's a lot of different reasons sometimes why that happens. It doesn't matter what you assume the reasons are. At the end of the day, if I said I don't want kids, I don't want kids. I don't owe an explanation to anyone, okay, about it if that's how I felt. And nobody knows how she feels. Okay, nobody knows if she has fertility problems. So it's very insensitive. Number one, mind your damn business. Number two, she might not want to have children. So she has her successful shoe company, she travels, and I noticed that there are a lot of people who seem to get bothered seeing women live their best life, and they feel, oh, you're trying to make up for not having kids with material things. Well, actually, some women actually just want to live for themselves. You could call it being selfish. It doesn't matter. I'm not sleeping with you. I don't owe anyone on earth an explanation. If I want to travel and see the world and live out my days and not have to have a child, especially in today's economy, there are a number of women who don't want an added bill, because having kids is added bills, and some women don't want that. It can be a financial burden. And I feel like this: if you don't have kids, having children will either motivate you in life, And I've heard a lot of women say, I didn't really grow up until I had a child. They changed my life. And then you have other women who fall into postpartum depression and either want to harm their kids or harm themselves because they didn't want kids. And thirdly, women who treat their kids like crap because they never actually wanted kids in the first place, but they have eggs and had SCX and had unplanned accidental pregnancies. So there's a lot of different things that go on with that, but there are more women speaking up on social media who are child free and happy. There is a difference being child free by choice and you didn't want kids versus being child free because of the situation. Perhaps she didn't meet a man of quality that she felt would make a good father, and she wanted to perhaps be married when she had kids and she didn't find a man worthy of being her husband. That happens as well. The things that I hear men say online towards women who don't have kids is disgusting to me. Disgusting to me because you don't know why some don't want kids. It could be a multitude of different reasons, even down to some women just know maybe they wouldn't be a good mother. Some women, yes, want to just live their life, living their life, and they don't want to raise somebody and do life over because raising a child is doing life again. Some women don't want to live life again. They don't want to raise somebody. They don't want to do the raising to go to school, teaching this, teaching that. Okay, it doesn't mean you don't have parts of you that's nurturing, or you might not, you can see a baby and you get a little baby fever. Some women don't get baby fever at all. They don't mind being the auntie to their nieces and nephews or cousins, and they can be in your life. They can visit you when you get old. You do have other friends and family and children's of friends and family you can build relationships with where hopefully they would visit you when you're lonely or you speak to them type of thing. Not every woman's life revolves around wanting to have a baby. And it doesn't mean you're mentally ill. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're not a woman. I see countless stories that I've shared on here of women who should not have had children. And I notice people are real silent when the women do things to them children, like the recent women leaving their kids in 100+ degree weather. The women who put kids in microwaves and ovens and stuff, they didn't need kids. Some women cannot afford to have children and make responsible decisions not to bring a child into poverty. There are a lot of women who look at the state of this world and feel like it's not safe or good to bring a baby onto this planet. There's no benefit at this point. The way the economy is, the way that the culture is, the way that these men are. A lot of women don't feel like they need it a lot today. They don't have that desire as much. And a lot of women in the past were indoctrinated and told you have to have a child. This is how you do life. You go to school or you don't go to school. You meet your husband and then you make babies. And you have a lot of women who secretly don't even want their kids. And sometimes it shows up on how they treat their kids. There are a lot of women, you pushed out a baby, but you're not a good mother. You're not nurturing. You're not a friend. You don't guide your children well. You just want to be able to say, I had a baby. I have met women who honestly felt, oh, I'm more of a woman because I had kids, but yet you're a crappy mother. You're not a great person, and you're not guiding or doing anything. You just popped out a baby, and you have women like this. Sometimes the kids are by various different men and all this other stuff. My value isn't tied to how many kids or if I give birth. I decide if I want to have kids or not, if I have standards, if I want to be married or if I'm not married. The man has to be able to afford to have children because I wouldn't want my children suffering. I'm not suffering. Not only that, again, there are women. I cannot stand when I see women saying, is there something wrong with your vagina? How insensitive of you, of millions of women that actually do want kids and cannot have kids because there are problems with their ovaries and their uterus or their period and things like that. How dare you? You're disgusting to me. And fortunately, there is something called adoption if some women still want to adopt who have issues in that department. But it's just disgusting. is absolutely disgusting to me. So I know I've been ranting my little rant. Let's see how she responded to this with such class, to this person saying again, at your day and age, how does it feel not to have kids because your life looks so lonely? That handbag isn't going to talk to you. Actually, it's called friends and family, if she has any of that she can speak to, or even visit you when you were sick. Disgusting. Let's see what she had to say.
Yeah, I know. Why respond to the negative comment? Because I want to turn it into a positive outlook. Never let someone make you feel as though you're too old to do something. And I personally battle with this just sometimes, thinking, damn, did I miss my mark on certain things? Just when it comes to age, it's like a very, very, very touchy subject. You know what I mean? People throw it around and throw it in people's faces. Like, it can really hit home because people take age like, damn, what am I doing with my life? I recently saw a girl on social media broken down in tears. I think she just turned 40, was in her 40s, boohoo crying that what has she done with her life? Her life is over. She has nothing to show for it. There are so many great people who started their lives, their businesses late, whether it was writing a book, going back to school, starting a business. So I say all this to say, never let someone tell you that your age should be stopping you from doing anything.
Okay, so she said, don't let people tell you that your age is stopping you from doing anything. And even when it comes to having children, I mean, look, Janet Jackson had a baby at like 50, and there were a couple of other celebrities doing IVF type of thing. And in some cases, look, menopause comes and it's too late, but people don't know her. It's just very insensitive when people try to bully you about not having kids. You don't know what she's going through. You don't know if she's been talking to 9 men to find a man that's right to be her partner or her husband and to have children with, and she can't find them. It's hard for a lot of women. A lot of women have settled a good portion. Most pregnancies aren't even planned half the doggone time. Nobody knows what she's going through in her life. Nobody knows if she secretly cries at night. Nobody knows if she's in pain about it, but yet they want to come up on here and try to speak for you. Oh, well, you have those shoes and you're traveling and you got that money, but you don't have no kid. How do you know she hasn't thought about that herself and is upset that she couldn't find a quality man to be the father of her children? Or how do you know, again, she doesn't have fertility issues? How do you know she just doesn't want children? Why does that bother some of you? And it's crazy because you have men who talk like this and they got kids. You already had kids. Why are you trying to monitor my vajayjay? Why are you trying to monitor my coochie? Why are you trying to tell me what my worth is if I didn't have kids or not? And you don't even know anything about me or what I could have gone through as to why that didn't happen. And if I just say, look, I don't want no damn kids. Why can't a woman say that? Why can't a woman say, look, I don't want kids? And then they think, well, you're attractive. There must be something wrong with you. Why does it have to be anything wrong? How do you know men haven't offered her children and she said no to it? Okay. And like I said, when you look at today's world, there are people who feel like birthing kids would be birthing them into slavery. Seriously, the way the economy is, the way the rent is, even just as a black woman, the way black culture is, and you have kids and you raise them in that culture, 50% is destroyed already. You have to worry about your daughters, your sons. You have to worry about who she will have. Even though I wouldn't raise my daughter to think she only has to date one type of race of man. You have to worry about your son's safety because 9 times out of 10 it's another black man that's going to possibly take his life. Things within the culture, just so much. The world itself is in turmoil. And a lot of people feel like The only reason some of you want kids is to be able to say, I had a baby, oh, I had a legacy, or I popped out somebody that I'm hoping, oh, maybe they might look like me or something. Oh, that's why I had kids. Or I had to have kids because, my religion told me this. And, oh, well, I was told that's what I do as a woman. Even though some of the people who talk like this, when they really sit down, half of them probably didn't even want children for real. They were indoctrinated. This is what you have to do. No matter what your life looks like, no matter if you're in poverty, no matter if you have trauma or the world is just terrible. No one cares. They want you to be a robot and do your so-called duty, making people on the planet. And you don't even know why in some cases. Why? Just because, oh, don't get me wrong, there are women who do crave to have a baby, baby fever or the natural instinct sometimes you have. You want to hold a baby, you want to breastfeed and all that other stuff. And then things get real when they start growing up. Again, can you afford to have a child? Would your life go into ruin having a child? Or, I feel like I would prefer the whole married and having kids. But in some cases, look, some people just want to have the child and they don't get officially married. Is the man there? Is he active? Is he helping raise the baby? You have to think about all these things. There are just so many factors as to why a huge amount of women don't want to have kids in the United States. A lot of women in other countries don't all want kids. They don't have no damn option when they are arranged and forced into marriages they don't even want. They don't have any rights, reproduction rights at all. A lot of some of the poorest countries, I just saw a graph, some of the poorest countries in the world have the highest birth rates. It's not because they all want children. It's because the women don't have any sort of rights or control over their body, and a lot of different things that go into that. So places where women are given more options, they have more resources, they have more choices. You find that a lot of women don't always choose to have children, okay? And some women don't all need children, to be real with you. So, and I know this can be an issue when it comes to dating. I mean, if you date men who have children, I don't know if he would really care if you have children, if y'all get married, he already had kids. I do know that a lot of men sometimes still want to get their wife pregnant. It's sort of like a conquering thing. And he says his seed and all that stuff living on with the woman. I think you have to have these conversations as soon as possible if you want kids or not, if you can have children. What's going to go on? Are we going to have kids or not have kids? Are you going to get your tubes tied? Is he going to get a vasectomy? Or he don't mind you getting pregnant, or he doesn't want any kids? These are the conversations you have to have when dating. Okay. And if you are a woman who hasn't had kids and you start dating and you're talking to a man and he kind of tries to shame you for not having kids, or he starts to question you why you don't have kids, end that crap immediately. Tell them how you feel and end it, because you're not about to disrespect me. You're not about to make assumptions, or I'll just keep it short if I want to say, look, I don't want kids, or I don't know how I feel about it. If it's the right man, if he can afford to have children and afford to be my man, my provider, my protector and all that, then we shall see. Or, in some cases, some women, again, cannot have children. So, she kept it simple. She kept it simple with her response. Basically, some things happen later for some women. Your whole worth and value is not based on just having a child. So I just find it amazing how it triggers some people when they get upset with women they don't even know who don't have kids and start making up all these assumptions, or men talking crap about you, because men know that most men want to impregnate women, especially if he's feeling you. The thing is, though, there is something called birth control. There are methods these days to not getting pregnant, or again, you don't know the woman and what those issues could even be. And it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So what do you think? All right, so please like, share, and subscribe. And baby, please tell me what you think. What do you think about all of this? Women and men who get triggered by women who do not have children, whether it's child-free by choice or simply life circumstances.